Hello everyone. Today our topic is about understanding software requirement specification or in brief SRS. So what is it about and why do we need this? As you know, for IT development or any company related to this, it's very important thing to know before building a software. So today we will like understand every single concept of SRS. So first, we will start with some three words related to this. First of all, when it's about developer who is about to build a software, at first he has to know the requirement, his requirement for building software. So if he doesn't know what is his requirement, what he's going to make, this will be a useless thing. Because in a software company, like there are different kinds of software. So sometimes there should be a specific requirement by the stakeholder or by the client. So client has to do with the requirement things, and also the developer company should make a requirements document and has to follow, and everyone has to follow about this thing. And if the requirement doesn't uh, make perfectly and also doesn't meet the stakeholder needs, then it won't work and it will be a lost project. So you can see here like a meme about programmer and customer here. Like the customer saying the feature does not work correctly, and the programmer is implying we did everything according to the description. Like the customer saying that the program is not meeting its requirement and what is expected to do with the software that system. This product is not working like that. The programmer is saying like we did everything according to the description. Like what you have given us about the description of the product, we have uh, applied everything in the software or in the system. And then the customer is saying again, the decision, the description is wrong. Like the description is wrong. That means it is not meeting their expected requirements. The programmer is saying, do you agree to the description? Then they start fighting. So this is me. My name is Saky, mentor of STEAM AIU Club. This is my LinkedIn URL. So here, this is our today's session. That first we will know about what is SRS, then we will start with the purpose of SRS, then role of SRS, then we will learn about the detailed format and template of SRS, like how we will write SRS document, then who are the expected leaders for SRS, also we will know about the characteristics of SRS, then we will learn about what we're going to be benefited by a perfect SRS, and we will go through a case study in Q&A. We'll finish. So first of all, what is SRS? SRS is a guide for developers telling them what to build for system. Like when it's about to build a system, so there should be a guide for developers how they will make that system, because always there are requirements by the stakeholder or by the building community. So at first they will make an SRS document as an SRS document, then they will go through that document for building the system. Then it explains in detail how the system should behave and what users expect from it. Like for this, the first thing, they also need uh, the whole details of the system and the end user, how they expect it in terms of using. The third one is SRS includes both what user need, like it's called user requirements, then what is how the system should work. That is called system requirements. There are two types of requirements in software engineering. One is user requirements, and also another one is system requirements. So user requirements are basically what the users need to do with the system, and the system requirements is like how the system should work. So all this detailed description should be in the SRS. And last thing, it describes everything that the software will do and how well it should perform. Like every details of the software should be in the SRS. Now, what is the purpose of SRS? So as we know, SRS document tells exactly what the system or software will do. So this is the first purpose, that we should know about every single thing, that what the software system is going to do. Then it helps to understand all the things needed to make the software and to plan how it will look and work. Also, it's for basically the UI team or UX, UI and UX, that is user interface and user experience. So the SRS also should include the user interface team and also user experience. How the system looks, how the system interface work, and how the system hardware needs. Also, it also lets the customer give their thoughts and opinions on software. And when a person who will look over an SS document, the customer or any person, at first they will get the impression from the SRS that how the software is going to do, what is the intended customer, who are the intended customer for the software, and how they can use the software in their daily use. So this is the role of SRS. The SRS should describe all the things the software must do, and um, a requirement can be needed because of the job the software needs to do, or because of unique part of the project. Like in a software company, there are so many customers or so many stakeholders and clients that the company is working with. So there are different kinds of projects, and also there are different kinds of requirements for the clients. So every time the company should be clarified, like for every single project, how it will work and what the users expect from the software and what the client or stakeholder wants from the software. Now we will see the most important part is the template of SRS, how you will write an SRS document. There is a detailed description of writing an SRS template. So here, as you know, we will go very deeper of the SRS template. But here the important thing is, like we see in every software there are versions, like version 1.0.1, like this you see version v 3.0.9 like this. So what are the versions? Like every time the company builds software, a developer builds software and they see like there is something that can be improved or there are some bugs that can be fixed. So every time they work on developing the software more powerful, also improving the software, also improving the user interface, also improving the user experience level, also improving the bugs, fixing the bugs. So every time they release new and new version. Also, there is another important thing is, like you are working with a company and the company needed this software for a specific purpose, and then the company maybe change their requirement because of the customer wants that in a different way. So the company will change the requirement to this to the company, I mean to the IT developer company. Then after changing the requirement, the IT people or the developer will follow those requirements for changing the software things. Like that is what we are going to do, but sometimes it may be boring thing, like every time the company is the client is wanting to change the requirements in and you will see like it's a budget thing, but also uh, there are more workforce needed there in the company. So that's why it should be also well documented. So characteristics of SRS, what SRS should be. It should be a current document. Uh, so every requirement given in SRS is a requirement of the software. Like what is written in the SRS document, it should be correct. And it should be unambiguous. Like every requirement has exactly one interpretation and it should be a complete SRS document and it should be a consistent document and rank importance in terms of essential versus desirable. So the first thing about SRS document is title phase. In title phase, there should be a project title and there should be version number, there should be date, also authors and contact information. Then for the history, there should be revision history, review history, approval history. So in your project title, you will write the exact title that goes with that SRS document, and for that specific or particular SRS document, you should write the version number of the document and also specify the date and the author's name who wrote or who worked on the SRS document. Also, the contact information to them. Now for the history part, it starts with the revision history. Revision history is like when an SRS document is compiled, there is a revision needed by the experts. So the experts revise the SRS document and they make some changes maybe or they suggest some changes. So based on the changes, there will be some other versions or later versions. So that is what will be included in the revision history, and the table of contents should include all the topics or all the sections and subsections with page number in the table of contents page. Then the introduction. In the introduction part, there should be purpose of the document, like what the document should include or will include, and the purpose of that document. Then the scope of the software system, like what this software or the system is going to make the objective of the system, also the functional and non-functional things of the system, and also the benefits of the system. Then there definition, like there are some terms in that SRS document, like that should be defined for the like some technical terms maybe, so that should be defined um, for better use maybe or for understanding purpose of the end user. So this term should be defined in the document, also the acronyms and abbreviation, like there are some terms maybe abbreviated like IoT, IoT means Internet of Things, like this kind of thing. So that should be included in the abbreviation acronym first. Then the second section is about overall description. The first thing is about product perspective, and the second thing is about user classes and characteristics, like who are the users and their characteristics, then the operating environment, like in which environment the system or the software is going to work, and the design and implementation constraint, like one is about designing the software. There are some constraints. Constraints are called limitations, like when we are developing or working with the software or developing or coding these things. So we always have limitations, like we cannot do what we want. We'll have some limitations, maybe limitations of hardware, limitations of enough workforce or kind of these things. So this will be included here in terms of design and implementation. Like for the design, it will work basically on all the design interface of the software. or the system and the implementation, like after the design implementation phase starts. So implementation is basically we can call like coding or making the design workable. So this constraint should be here, and the assumptions and dependencies. So assumptions and dependencies is specifically called, there will be some dependencies of the term, like a single phase of the software can be dependent in another phase, or a feature of the software can be dependent in another feature. So this is called dependencies. And functional requirements. So functional requirements identify and detail the product's design specification, that what are the design specifications there, and the graphical specifications is about user interface specifications, and requirements for the operating system, since which operating system is going to work, and any limitations or constraints. So this all the things will be under functional requirements. Functional requirements is basically called a specific requirement. Here in any software there should be two requirements, two specific requirements. One is called functional requirements, and another is non-functional requirements. So here functional requirements is basically the technical things mostly, that should include the design specification, graphical specification, and the requirements for operating system, and any constraints. So the external interface requirements is basically user requirements, hardware interface, also the software interfaces, and communication interface. So user interface, like what the user is going to see when they are opening the software, and how the interface should be. It will describe by this place, and then the second one is hardware interface. What are the hardwares needed to run the system? Or what are the hardwares they should work on for building a system. And the software interface, like there are some software limitation and constraints here for building the software, also for running the software. This will be under software interface, and the communication interface, how the software is going to communicate with the people. It's about under communication interface and non-functional requirements that are included here is basically software quality. For a qualified software or a good software, there should be some quality in itself. The first one, it should be secure, like the security level should be high. Like if this software is secure in terms of data and privacy of the user, so that should be clarified in the non-functional requirements. Also, the capacity. Capacity is about the storage. The how much storage is going to take in the end user's pool. It will be included here in capacity section. And the compatibility is about the hardware systems, and the reliability is how it's going to be reliable for the customer when they will use. Also the scalability and maintainability is basically about a software should be well maintained. Like as I said, there should be some versions again and again under the software. So it should be well maintained. Like every time after the software has been developed, it should be like looking over some suggestions from the end user. It's called feedback. Also, there can be some bugs that can be fixed. So it should be these all things should be maintained, well maintained, and the usability. The software should be usable and well usable by the customer. Then the last one is about other non-functional requirements. It can be any other non-functional requirements of the software that should be added here in this section. It's about system feature. Like system feature is about what the system is going to provide. So maybe you have built a software that is providing um, to like capture photos. So the system feature one is about capturing photos. System feature two maybe it captures good photos with some good features, with some good filters maybe. Uh, or also it can maybe works with the brightness and this kind of things. This will be under the system feature group. And the system model is about system modeling, like the basic terms of system models, that's use case diagram and state diagram, activity diagram, class diagram, sequence diagram. So for today we'll just describe about the use case diagram and the state diagram. And last one is about references and the supporting documents. So those are the documents that needed for the reference and uh, how many other words have been added or uh, we have taken help from the other words should be here in the reference section and the other supporting documents should be included under this section.
Wait.
So the readers of SRS who are going to be the intended reader of the SRS document is the business stakeholder, like the client people who have like dealt with the company, developer company for building the software. So that is the business stakeholder. They will be the leader of SRS, also the project managers who is the in charge of the project, like doing every single thing about the project is going to be the project manager and this is about to read the SRS document for for managing all of his employees under him. Also the developers who are going to develop the software. So they will be the leader of the SRS document. Also the designer who is about to design the software. They will be the leader of SRS document. Also the tester who is going to test, like there are some kind of testing phases, like so pilot testing, like these things. So when the software is being developed completely, so it should be tested before it's going to be delivered to the customer or the client. So it should be tested and also the testers will read the source document that whether it's meeting the software is meeting the specific requirements of the client or not. They will look over this and also the regulatory compliance officers that are like the government people like who will look over the legal things like the software including the legal things also it's following or it's meeting all the terms and conditions or not. The documentation teams is about more like the people who is going to write the user manual things. So they will be the reader also of the SRS document. So this is the benefits of SRS.
So the first benefit of SRS is about it. It is the basis for agreement between the customer and the supplier. As I've said, for the whole class is about a deal between the client and the developer company. So it should be an agreement between the customers and the suppliers, or what the software or system is going to do with. Also, it reduces development effort when it's about the development phase, so it's going to reduce that effort. Also, it's going to provide a basis for estimating costs and schedules. Like for a software, uh, there needs some budget for building the software, so it will provide the whole estimating cost basis and also the schedules like when the software can be delivered, when this system can be developed this all these things. Also, it will provide a baseline for validation and verification, and lastly, it will serve as a basis for enhancement. So overall, when an SRS documents like is meeting all the things completely, so the SRS documents maybe will be accepted by the client, also by all the readers, and meeting all the requirements. So the status like accepted, and then the developers or the other people related to the development company can work on it. So for any question related to this, you can contact me here in this email. Also can follow